Today, we're tackling a common problem that many of us face. How do we get off the screens and get our family connected with nature, ourselves, all the things?
It's true. Luckily, Huntsville has everything that you need to rediscover the great outdoors. From hiking, climbing, and even waterfall hunting. There's no better guide for this journey than David Parham, the Huntsville Adventurer.
Welcome to Rocket City Momentum, where we capture the energy of Huntsville. Each week, we're diving into the coolest stories, hottest trends, and exploring the unique neighborhoods that make our city shine. From inspiring conversations with local trailblazers to uncovering hidden gems, we're here to celebrate what makes Rocket City so special. So buckle up, Rocket City. It's time to feel the momentum.
What's your favorite outdoor activity in Huntsville?
I like to go check out the new parks around town and skateboard.
Walk outside in my neighborhood.
I would say hiking. Most definitely hiking.
Playing tennis.
I love hunting and scouting all the public land in the Rocket City.
Huntsville Adult Soccer League.
Kayaking. Going to Monte Sano.
Monte Sano.
USTA at Don Hunt Park.
All kinds of trails. Look at your All Trails app. All kinds of fun.
It's clear that there is no shortage of passion for the outdoors in Huntsville. But for a lot of people, finding where to start can feel overwhelming.
Yeah, it really does. So we thought there's no one better to talk to us about this beautiful outdoor Alabama and the Rocket City than David Parham. Now, you probably know him better as Huntsville Adventurer, but he has a true passion for helping others take a hike.
We are here with Huntsville Adventurer. You probably know him and love him and have gone to waterfalls because of him. I have. So David Parham is here. Yay!
Thank y'all for having me.
Welcome to the show. We're so excited. All right, so I can't wait to dig in. So tell us, how did you become the Huntsville Adventurer?
It was a mistake, actually.
All by accident, just fell into it.
It was very much a mistake. I started a website because I had my friends constantly asking me, hey, you took this pretty picture. Where is this? And so I was like, well, this would be a good little thing for me to put out there just in case anybody else is looking for waterfalls and, hikes in the area. So I created the website just because I had friends asking me where things were. And from there...
So you were like out having a party by yourself, and you you posted like an Instagram or something, and everyone was like, where?
Wait, where is this?
So,
that looks
yeah,
great.
it's on Facebook, on my personal,
on your Facebook.
Facebook. I didn't even have Instagram.
They wanted to know where it was, and so you were like, okay, I'll centralize this.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Was it, yeah. So
okay.
it was purely just because I had people ask me questions, and my website's always been like I just get asked these questions over and over, so I just put it on the website. That's literally what I built the website for.
He started it because he was annoyed.
You know what? It would be much more efficient.
35 texts today.
You guys, I'm just gonna direct you here.
I'd be interested to know of all the great innovations that have come from people being generally annoyed and just being like, how can we just get the information to more people more quickly?
Was that the mother of invention is necessity?
Yeah, exactly. So
he's like, quit texting me.
Yeah.
Just go here.
Just go to the website.
And it just caught on. And
the website's huntsvilleadventurer.com.
That's it. That's right. Yeah, and I learned later that the extra R at the end is a mistake because it's hard to say.
Yeah, Huntsville Adventurer.
Adventurer, yeah.
We'll figure it out.
That's okay.
Yeah.
They'll find it.
People have caught on, yeah. So it's working now because enough people have gotten behind it today.
So Dana actually had mentioned that she has gone
on an adventure because of you.
Exactly.
Exactly. Where did you go?
So we did. Oh God, what's the name of the is it Pisgah Falls?
Gorge.
Yes,
Gorge,
Gorge.
yes.
Yeah, and then there's another one not too far. We made it a twofer.
Buck's Pocket, maybe?
No, I feel like it's a falls. I'm so good at details, but I am going to share those video clips.
Yeah,
so
take me through the experience, Dana. I want to know, what was it like for you? Did you pull? It was Instagram, Facebook. It was the website.
I think it was probably Instagram.
Instagram, yeah.
And when you continuously see all of these beautiful images of places, and not Lucas, he won't be going to adventure.
I won't see any of it.
But I was like,
I live under a rock.
I want to go see that. And so on my bucket list, we are trying to visit every national park and every national monument in the passport book. I completed number 27 out of 409 this past week. So I'm getting there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's way more than I've done.
You see how impressed
No
you are?
way.
I would be impressed, but I have no idea what she's talking about.
I'll have to bring my book in and let you see.
So I can see it.
Yeah, because so the national parks have this little passport system.
Wait, no.
No, listen. No, I want to.
But you saw his post.
It's all related.
Okay,
it's
fine,
all related.
Dana.
And so I have been working on this, but then I saw these and they're not national parks, most of them. And I was like, well, okay, so it doesn't have to be a national park. Maybe we could just take a little day trip to something close by. And that's where I got super, because most of the stuff that you were doing was like within driving distance of Huntsville.
So we do travel and we do go to like places elsewhere, but it was I love the outdoors, so you can't travel all the time, right? So so most of what I do is just in the general area, so within an hour and a half to 2 hour drive of Huntsville, because I can take a day trip there and just spend the day exploring.
So how so do you always just go on the paths as marked? Do you how much do you
What's your
adventure?
process
Like,
for, like,
how much
breaking off?
adventure in Huntsville Adventurer?
So it depends on where I am. A lot of like state parks and national parks, they require you to stay on the path, and so required. So and there's always like room for exploring a little bit, and so I have done a little bit of exploring on some of them. But Bankhead National Forest, there's very little trails there. If you want to get somewhere like really good waterfalls, you're going to be going off trails. They have a lot of
like by design.
Where is Bankhead National Forest?
It's like 30 to 45 minutes west of Coleman.
Okay.
It's about an hour and a half from here.
Okay.
But they have very little actual trails. There are something called social trails, which is just enough people have gone down this that it's
just
created
made
a
it.
trail, right?
Okay.
But those are not reliable, and they are, they get overgrown a lot. You may be thinking you're following a trail somewhere and it'll lead you somewhere else. So when you go to Bankhead, you really have to do a lot more studying on where you're going and how you're going to get there, and paying attention to the map and navigating through the forest.
That counts you out, huh?
Yeah, no, I know. I was like, I'm having
Like
so much anxiety
immediately,
right
like
now.
there's no way
All this
that
preparation and study and stuff,
I'd
but
have to do something in
If I'm going for a hike, I'm thinking like we start at the Barnes and Nobles at Bridge Street, we work our way all the way back to the movie
with your
theater.
phone doing Pokemon
But
Go,
wait,
right?
No, it's not over, because then you got to carve left and go straight back to P.F. Chang's, finish up with a little campfire type P.F. Chang's meal. There's
There
no
is
fire,
a
but there's a
whole
meal.
thing called urban hiking, and
Urban hiking.
you just described it perfectly.
You see?
just described it
So
perfectly.
I'll do the Huntsville Urban Hiking
right.
Adventure.
Wait.
Yeah.
We were having a conversation and you were joking on me about my camping style being in a camper.
Okay, that's not camping.
Is it camping?
Camp in
Yeah,
a
I mean,
camper.
it's a form
official-
of
He's
camping.
hedging. He's hedging. He's trying to be
Officially,
nice.
I think if you're out in nature, it counts.
Okay, everything is out
No.
in relatively speaking.
No, we are not out in nature right
There is
now.
nature in my yard, a little bit of nature. Okay, here's what I want to know. We're going to get a little gritty, a little nitty gritty here. So a friend of mine is really big into hiking, and he's like a big guy, and he's strong and he moves fast. And anytime I have gone hiking with him, it's always been that he's like way up there, and I'm like trying to keep up, and he likes to deviate from the trails and stuff. Like he'll I've hiked with him around Monte Sano.
Sounds dangerous.
It is just a terrible experience for me trying to keep up with him hiking. Okay, well one time he's hiking and I wasn't there, and I guess he was like going off trail and doing something else, and there was a fall. And he fell and he split his femur on a rock.
While y'all were together?
I wasn't there.
Oh, you
I
weren't
heard about
there.
this later. This happened maybe 2 years ago, and he's recovered and he was fine. But that kind of an insane thing, you wouldn't think about like, oh, I'm going hiking. And he's like pretty much like, I guess you'd call him like a hardcore hiker, because he like goes off trail and climbs on like boulders and does that. And that's like fun sounding and exciting, and I'm sure it's fun and exciting, but things can happen. Has anything crazy ever happened?
Oh yeah.
Because you're a climber, right?
I climbed for 10 years. I've never had any climbing incidences. Never. I was a very safe
Thank
climber. Yeah. And I haven't climbed in years. I've had like bad back issues, lower back issues, and so
And kids. Like,
and
it
kids,
just-
yeah.
And kids.
And kids.
Which are basically like having chronic injury, you know?
Yeah. So
Soul sucking. It's
So
fine.
I had to quit climbing. Both out of time and necessity. Because the type of climbing I like to do is sort of sport, which means you climb up past where you put your last anchor. So when you're falling past your anchor point down farther. So if your last anchor point was 5 feet under you, you fall 10 feet. And so it does put a lot of pressure on it, and I decided that it was probably the best for me to not climb anymore.
Yeah.
But I have fallen a few times. One time I was out hiking with Adventuring Light, who's another great Instagram profile.
Check it out.
You should definitely check her out.
Adventuring Light?
Adventuring Light. She does a lot
Like
more.
L-I-G-H-T or L-I-T?
L-I-G-H-T.
Yeah, yeah.
And
She's local? She's nearby?
she's Birmingham.
Okay, cool.
And she does a lot more caving. But we were hiking out to Natural Well. And it was the first time I'd met her and her friends, and I was carrying my kid, and I had her on my shoulders, and I was carrying a cup of coffee, and we were walking down the trail, And she got a video of me doing this,
No,
mind you.
of
Mind you,
course.
yeah. A video of me. And I had a root just wrap around my foot, and I couldn't catch myself on my way down. And I ended up with like 7 staples through my knee. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nothing
So you
ends a
dragged your
hike
knee across a
quite.
stone or something?
It just went straight down onto a rock, yeah. So
But you were carrying your.
I was carrying my
baby's
my-
okay?
Yeah, she was great. You can watch the video. I have she sent me the video, but I fall down straight to my knees and stay upright.
Keep the baby up.
Right,
Yeah,
like that.
of course.
Protect,
of course.
protect.
See, one more reason children make you weak. Protect them instead of yourself.
Self-sacrifice.
Exactly. You gotta throw the kid.
I
That
do
thing.
have a few kids though.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's that. Yeah, but like that can happen. Or I've heard of other other situations where people get terribly injured just walking around their neighborhoods. I've heard of situations like, didn't you?
What? Shut up. Maybe it's really hard to
twist
take
your ankle?
to take a corner and twist your ankle. Thank goodness
Take
my
a
husband.
corners.
Thank goodness my husband was with me to go get the van. I couldn't even get up.
Urban hiking has its risks.
Urban
It
hiking has
does.
its risks.
It
That's right.
does.
But people need to get out more for sure.
Yeah.
People meaning people like me, people like Dana.
So how much time are you spending outdoors? Like,
Recently, like not that much,
Yeah.
honestly. I have, I go through seasons. I hate summer hiking.
Yeah.
I absolutely. So I mean,
there's nothing enjoyable about that.
I
Just too hot
the
and
mosquitoes,
stinky.
the mosquitoes kill me. They absolutely kill me. The heat, and then it's really just miserable for my family, right?
Yeah.
So it's really hard to get my kids.
So
out.
you have 2 kiddos?
I have 2 kids, 2 girls.
And they're around.
One is 4 and one's 7.
That's a hard hiking troop.
It's so difficult.
Like I wouldn't even consider.
No.
I've got a 9 and a 7, and I'm like, not until they're in their teens.
Do they
I'm
like
taking
it?
Yes,
Okay,
it
so they're
depends.
into
So it just depends. But we spent a lot of time on the Flint River this summer.
Which is so much. It's just
Right.
floating the Flint and.
See, we
have
thought
you-
about taking them on it, but I was like, man, if it's good, it'll be great. But if it's bad, it's gonna be bad all the way down the Flint.
Right.
I
And
think
I'm
that they'll like that.
Ugh.
I think they would like a Flint
Kids.
float.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what about snakes and what?
Yeah, but what about snakes?
But what about those?
So snakes are.
Have you ever gotten bit by a snake on a hiking trail?
No. So snakes are actually incredibly misunderstood because they're incredibly shy
Aw.
creatures.
Dana's like,
no.
oh, that's not.
Actually, I would prefer a snake over a rat any day.
Yeah, and what they're incredibly shy. They're not territorial, and you're not food to them. They have zero reason to bite you. So unless if you are, people get bit, or you like if they get bit on accident, it's just because they stepped on it.
Yeah.
That's almost 100% of the cases of getting bit on accident. The other ones are they're trying to play with the snake, mess
Trying
with
to
the
handle
snake.
it, yeah.
I had talked to an ER nurse or doctor, I can't remember, one time at Huntsville Hospital, and they said that majority of their snake bites come from the snake handling church out in Scottsboro.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
from
yeah.
the.
I mean, it's not people out in the
Yep.
wilderness. It's people.
So there's that. FYI.
Handling them.
But yes, no,
Oh,
snakes,
right.
snakes, they want to leave you alone. You're a giant, you're a monster to
Right.
them.
Chances
and-
are not in their
yeah,
favor.
No.
Chances are not. That's
no.
how I've been explaining spiders to the kids, and I've gotten the kids to be a little bit more comfortable handling because we have little jumping spiders, and I think jumping spiders. Look at Dana's face; she's terrified. I think jumping spiders are adorable.
Yeah.
They're so pretty. They've got such pretty patterns. They don't bite. They can't bite you. I mean, whatever. They have. I've never. And they,
Are you talking about Granddaddy Longlegs?
No,
What are you
no.
talking
These
about?
are like little. They look like little. They're so adorable. Like Lucas
Adorable
the spider.
and spider has
Lucas the
never.
spider.
You know Lucas the
been-
spider?
I think I do. I
Okay,
think I
Those
do.
have-
okay.
those
my
are not
point is-
paired.
My point is, I will handle them. They're around the yard, and they're not dangerous to human beings.
They're just as cute as a mosquito.
No, they're not. They're way cuter than mosquitoes. And in order to get the children to handle venomous snakes, to be okay and chill out about it and not be afraid and not immediately go to kill this thing, which is this living creature, I've kind of taken that same kind of explanation where this is something that it doesn't look at you as food. This is the only reason this thing is going to bite you is if you put it in a position where it has no way to escape, because even if it was thinking to attack you, it's not thinking it's going to win this fight.
No, there's no
This
way
is a
it's
life
gonna
or death
win.
situation. In
Right.
fact, for most animals, for an animal, even larger
Coming up
animals like cats or
against-
dogs, this is a life and death situation for them. And at least that's how it's perceived. So as long as you give them an out, they're going to take that out before they try to stand up to you.
Right.
Apart from raccoons. Raccoons will come at you, bro. They will come at you.
Yeah.
Not that that's ever
That
happened to me.
feels-
It sounds personal.
That feels very there's a story there.
Anyway,
I feel
or
like.
I
maybe
feel like there
multiple
is too,
stories.
yeah.
Let's not dig into it. Let's
All
not
right.
dig
So
into
what
it.
is the most all right?
But
I
I
know
had a
you've
question.
been.
We
I'm
had talked
sorry.
about this. We talked about
I'm
it.
sorry, I had
we
heard
want to
this.
know if it's nurture. We want to know if it's nurture. So did you hike a lot as a kid? Was your
I-
family very into it, or
So Not really. I mean, we didn't avoid the outdoors. We did some outdoor stuff. I camped in the backyard with my dad some.
Were you a Boy Scout?
I wasn't a Boy Scout. I actually did like Cub Scouts for a year or two, and I hated it. And I really wasn't a big
Isn't that
outdoorsy
interesting?
person when
It
I
is
was a kid.
interesting.
Any foreshadowing?
Because like
Susan?
my husband's an Eagle Scout.
Yeah.
And
He's not.
well, I mean, I think he just would prefer not to. Although
I
he
know
did
Chris.
tell me.
I don't know Chris like super well, but I know him pretty well, and I'm gonna just say like I'm pretty sure Chris would prefer a nice lazy boy and a cold beer.
Well, then maybe I should tell you what he told me on this trip to Shenandoah. He was like, you know what? I think I'd like to hike the Appalachian Trail.
The Appalachian Trail.
And,
Appalachian
or
Trail.
a,
That, like,
portion, a
hardcore-
portion of it. And I was like,
Okay.
He's like, can we do it together?
Can we do it?
You got this. You can do this. I believe in you.
I'll check in on you. I'll drive to his hotel.
Then it will be the checkpoints.
Yeah.
Exactly. That'll make or break a marriage right there. Can you hike the Appalachian Trail with me?
Oh.
But yeah,
Because we were talking about that. Like, is it an upbringing? Is it a nurture thing?
It wasn't until I started climbing. I mean, when I started climbing, I spent a lot more time outdoors. I would go out to Moss Rock. I grew up in Birmingham.
What got you into climbing?
I don't know. I mean, I was like 16, 17. I think I just got invited.
Somebody,
along
and
with
you're just like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah, or someone said, hey, go check out Moss Rock. I remember the first time I was out in Moss Rock, I was in tennis shoes, and we were just climbing all over these giant rocks.
Like bouldering?
Boulders,
Like,
yes. It was like bouldering.
okay. Are you familiar with bouldering?
I have no idea.
Okay, so let me just try, and then you can explain what it
Right.
actually is. But it's basically like free climb. You don't have any like tethers or anything like that, and you're basically like trying to scale a huge stone, a huge boulder. My brother Ben was in Oregon. He does bouldering, or used to anyway, and it's insane. Like the hand strength.
It sounds.
You're like gripped to this boulder, like scaling, and it's not like this big mountain you're climbing. You're literally climbing like a few feet sometimes.
Sounds like my son Colton would love
Oh,
this.
it's so cool.
And you like
It's so
some
cool.
of them you like start. It's called a sit start. You start sitting on the ground and you have to find your handholds and I mean and it's just trying to find these routes up these boulders. Is pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
And I never got good at it, but I love doing it. And I found out that I loved being outdoors. I would go climbing to go outdoors, and I didn't realize that for a while that I could just go outside. I didn't have to go climbing in order to go find some of these places.
Yeah.
You could just
go
there,
That's
yeah.
right. Yeah. So we used to make trips up to Cherokee Rock Village to go sport climbing up there and go camping, and I really enjoyed the whole thing, and I enjoyed the climbing stuff too. But I found that I just enjoyed being outside.
It's kind of like realizing like maybe life is about the journey.
Yeah. Oh.
maybe,
it.
maybe. Tell us, what's your favorite place that you've visited? I know it's hard. Favorites are very hard for me.
We're saying in Alabama,
but-
right? Or
Yeah,
in
sure.
the
Yeah,
surrounding area.
Well, let's do like first
we can
Alabama
do everywhere,
and then like who knows
and
where.
then-
Yeah.
Oh man, it depends on what I'm looking for. Like Bankhead, the color in Bankhead's kind of unmatched in Alabama.
The color,
the
like
color,
trees or
not just the trees, but like the water. The water has a limestone deposit there, and so it's blue. Like it's very blue, like a light blue color. You have
That sounds
interesting.
so
Yeah,
good. Doesn't it make
yeah.
you want to go?
It makes me kind of thirsty.
So
It's like-
but it depends on where you go. It depends on where you go in Bankhead too, because some of it has
like fresh,
has a-
refreshing,
yeah.
cold, like spring water.
Yeah, because you're totally going to drink that.
Oh, I'm just saying. Okay, whatever, Data.
So the color there is unmatched, but like the Little River Canyon area.
Oh, that's on my list because
yeah.
of you.
Yeah, it's so if you
And also it's a national
you
park on my checklist.
Yeah,
But it's higher
yeah,
on the list because of David.
And then like if you start driving the rim of the canyon, it just kind of opens up, and driving down the rim, it's a pretty decent sized canyon. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
And
out
it's
there.
within how many hours of here?
It's an hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. How about this? Like, is there a place that you're like, maybe you'll never get to make it there, but like if you do, it would be like the big one. Like, man, if I could just
In Alabama?
Oh,
No,
anywhere.
Anywhere. Oh, Patagonia, 100%.
Patagonia. Tell me more.
Patagonia is the southern tip of Chile and Argentina. They have incredible mountains there. I've wanted to go.
He's
to
definitely thought
Patagonia.
about this a long time. He's
Yeah,
like, oh,
this
Patagonia.
This is number one on my.
This
bucket
is on the list.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like Patagonia is number one, and then like New Zealand's number two.
And okay, so Patagonia, risks, concerns include
Death.
Yeah, so
Just that.
So there's this 5-day trek that goes around. There's a circle. I can't remember the exact name of it, but there's this circle that you go and hike, and it's a 5-day trek, and it's pretty commercialized as far as you go, you pay someone to be your tour guide, and you go
They
down
move
there.
your
And-
stuff for you.
And you can kind of depend on it depends on which package you get, right? Some of them you do more, some of them you do less. Some of them you stay in these like little domes, and some of them you.
Is there one that has an RV with it, or not so much?
I wouldn't think that there's an RV there, but
Sorry, Dana.
You could probably stay in like a little like an eco dome kind of thing. So it's not.
We some little wheels to go on it.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
But I like
sounds
to
kind of
camp.
epic.
I do like to be outdoors. I think I do it more than you do.
Yeah. Well, okay. So first of all, I used to be a lot more hardcore about outdoors and camping, like whatever. But Jackie's not really into that sort of thing. She's just not really.
Blames it on the wife.
No, really.
Sure.
I would sleep under a bridge.
Listen,
okay?
last week we stayed in a yurt.
A lean-to? Is that a yurt? What is it?
I don't know what a lean-to is.
Is that a yurt?
It's kind of. It's like a less fancier cabin. Isn't it?
It was a tent. But it had air conditioning and running water and bathrooms.
Oh,
and
wow.
so,
wow, you said it like she said it like it was like
glamping.
But it had,
last week we had to stay in a
canvas
yurt.
top. And I swear,
So that's what makes it a yurt at a canvas top.
But it rained the whole time because of that hurricane and stuff. And my son is deathly afraid of rain.
Oh
no.
And so that made for a wonderful trip, by the way.
Situation.
But one night it sounded like there was somebody in galoshes like running around the top of the yurt the whole entire night, and I was like, never.
Was there somebody
again?
there, or...
No, I was ready. I thought we were going to see a slice come in.
Oh, it was like one of those slasher moments.
Oh no.
She got really concerned and had to turn up the air conditioning.
It's
not going to be like that.
We'll freeze them out.
So
is this like where you see all the Instagram posts where the beds are like embedded into the side of the mountain? Is this like one of those places?
In Patagonia, you're saying?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm wondering where all those are.
Oh, embedded.
I would not stay in one of them.
Maybe
I'm not sure what you're talking about, but
know.
no, this is Patagonia. It's not that. I need to go find this place though. You said embedded into the side of a mountain.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that sounds amazing.
Said no one ever.
Well, that's how you know.
I was a climber.
You're like, no, this isn't.
So I wasn't born with a strong fear of heights. You know, it kind of makes me a little nervous getting close to edges and stuff, but I don't have a strong fear of heights, much less than I notice most people do.
I just have a fear of death.
Now, have you been to? Okay, so talking about climbing, not fears of death, but this is related, sort of. Have you been to the climbing? What is it? Is it altitude? Is that the climbing gym?
No, that's
there?
a trampoline.
High Point. Have you been to High Point?
I have not.
Have you been to High Point?
Yes, I have.
My arms are very weak. I don't think I can lift this body.
You should.
I got a lot.
Well, first of all, that's a misconception because you use your legs a lot more than you realize.
I have strong legs.
You're supposed to. Yeah, exactly.
I have strong legs.
It's grip
Really?
strength and legs.
You got it. And so the weirdest thing for me, because I'm not a climber, but I've climbed a little bit. You remember Casey, my cam op, a couple of years back?
Maybe that will be our adventure for this episode.
It's a great time. But look, they have this thing in the kids area that I spend most of my time in the children's area, and they have it, and you like climb up onto these like
he's
higher
knocking
and higher,
all the kids off, and he's like, I got this.
You climb up onto this top of this thing, and then you get to like jump down. You're tethered, and it's fine. But like fear of heights, like I thought it was all good. I'm looking at this thing, and like at its height is I don't know how high it was, maybe 20 or 25 feet. By the time I got to the top of it, I was feeling absolute utter terror. It felt like I was gonna, like my mind was telling me I was going to die. Like that's the feeling I was having. And I did it, and I took the leap, but that was
it like a high ropes course, or was it climbing?
No, so they put you're on a tether, and then there's like these like blocks, these kind of foam blocks, and they gradually get higher, and you kind of like jump to the next one, and so they went up, in this kind of spiral.
The little kids.
So I don't have.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I don't have experience with that, but I do have. You know the high ropes courses where it's like you're locked in, but they've got you going like on a what is that, like a rope, and then there's like the swinging bridge and all these things, and you just get higher and higher. Yeah, terrifying.
And then you jump at the end.
But
the jump is the scary. So getting up was fine. I could do the climbing and like ascending the entire thing. But getting to the end of it and being like, okay, there's nowhere else to go but to take this leap. And I'm like standing at the bottom of this thing before I go up, encouraging the kids that are in line. I'm like, you got this. It's fine. Nothing to fear. You're tethered in. And they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, come on, go one more level. They're like jumping early. And I'm like, let me show you how it's done. And I get to the top of this thing, and I was just shitting my pants. I was like, I don't know. Jackie's like, you got this. I'm like, shut up. You don't fucking know me. Like, I'm not doing this. Call the fire department.
I can't get down. He's like a cat.
I did make the jump, just so everyone knows. I was fine.
So is it like a zip line jump? Like you're just...
No, so you're tethered on a thing. You don't... No, you just come straight down.
You're on an auto belay system.
So it'll just...
It just lower... Yeah, it like locks and then lowers you down.
Yeah.
Wah, 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 wah.
Whatever. It was scary. My point is, before you make the jump, that moment when you're like... When I was... making the decision that I was going to go for it,
Yeah.
even though I really
It's
didn't
terrifying.
want to go for it. It was terrifying. It was very scary.
We were at a Girl Scouts camp, and it was just, I mean, it wasn't even that high, but we had to climb this tree, and then it was a zip line, though, but it was a straight down zip line.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Were we tethered? I don't think we were. We were literally holding on.
Faggot ninjas! Girl Scouts forever! Witness me!
So, but that terror.
Girl Scouts have got to get it together, you guys.
Maybe. I'm sure that there was safety involved. I'm
Yeah,
sure. It's
yeah,
just
I'm
that
sure.
that
I'm
part
sure.
is gone.
Yeah,
That part is gone.
everything's fine.
But the whole, you've got to jump, and you're standing there, and it has. They won't push you.
No, you've
you
got to do
have
it.
to jump.
You've got to decide, yeah.
And it was so hard.
Yeah, very scary. So, okay, all right.
So back to getting kids to come along with you on hikes. How have you incorporated that so that they're not? So here's what I experience. I don't want.
I know. Oh, annoying.
And then we
Annoying.
finally go, and then they're just like miserable the whole time, and I'm like, I wish I would have left you home.
So don't want, like, it only takes one time of that for me, and I'm like, that's it. We're not going, or you're not going with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with kids, you gotta decide before you leave whether you're hiking for them or for you.
Ooh,
And
sage advice. Can I just hear that again? Did you say it right into that lens?
Before you hike, you have to decide whether you're hiking for yourself or for them. The hiking experience really changes significantly what you're doing. If you're hiking for yourself, if you know this is what I want to go do, then you just try to make them as comfortable as possible. I mean, I carry my kids a lot.
I thought you were going to say, like,
Just
at
leave
home.
them behind.
Yeah, or at home.
Comfortable
like,
in
if
the
this
living
is
room.
really an
You can-
important hike to you, don't take it.
Yeah,
and
it's
you
fine.
find fun things for them to do too. You just got to try to make it as best as possible. If it is for you, you got to own it and realize that the main objective is for you to get to the place and not to have them have fun. But that's, I mean, like, legitimately,
It's not about the journey.
Yeah.
It's about the destination.
It's not about them. It's about whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I really want to get somewhere, and I just try to make my kids as happy as I can. But I'm gonna get to that place. But if you're hiking for them, or you're hiking for time for you and your family, which is most of mostly what we do with this family, you've got to figure out what's fun for them.
That's really, I mean, I just think that's so simple and also kind of overlooked. Decide in advance. Set those expectations, not just with them, also with them, but with yourself. Like, what is it that we're going to do? So what kind of things do you do to try to, like, engage them when it's about them?
When it's about them, kids play. And so finding ways for them to play out in the woods. My kids love to climb rocks. They love to build dams in the creeks. They love to throw rocks. They like to. My little one likes to go and smell every single flower she passes.
So
you have to be good with it.
It's
You just
excursion
have to
time.
be-
It's big time excursion time, right?
Yeah.
Like, this
You
isn't
let them-
like
It's not, we're on a mission.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like lots and lots of deviation, but that's the whole point.
That's the whole point.
The whole point is to spend time exploring.
Exactly. And so we when I go for my kids, we may get like 100 feet into the woods and be there the entire time if that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
We do that a lot on Wildflower Trail, which is right around the corner. It's like just when it's flowing, it's not flowing right now, but when it's flowing, it's a beautiful little creek bed. They love going there and they love playing in the water. It's a great place for them to play.
Finding stones.
Ooh, that sounds like
stuff.
somewhere y'all should go visit if it's nearby too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, no, I could see Nathan loving that.
Yeah.
I when I was a kid, that's something we were very into. Me and my two older brothers, we were like the 3-pack of like complete insanity. But when we were released into the wild, we would go and find a river usually, and we'd build a dam. That's pretty much what we would do. We'd build a dam and build like a fort.
That must be a boy thing.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, that's I mean, building the dam is it. My kids love it.
Oh my god! And it starts
never
getting
let
deeper,
them
and you're
because
like, it's working.
I'm always like, I'm so wrong for this because I'm like,
Build a dam
you're
then.
going to like mess up the ecosystem, but I guess you just destroy it at the end.
destroy it at the
yeah.
end, right.
I mean, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
I've ruined their lives.
Congratulations, Dana.
I was today years old when I realized.
Dana Stone, keeping therapists in work forever.
I know. I am well aware that I am the future topic of a therapist conversation.
No. We all ruin them whether we try or not.
Yeah,
but that's good.
So, interesting story for my Shenandoah trip that we just had. We were hiking and we were going on a waterfall hike. So it was a relatively small one. It was an hour and a half, supposed to be round trip, but it was a moderate climb. And so we had my pregnant daughter, my 60-year-old mother, my 10-year-old, and my 12-year-old, and then me and Chris. Everyone's doing pretty good. We get to the last bit. It's 1,000 feet decline, and my son starts throwing up.
Oh, no.
He starts dry heaving, and everyone is at the end. We've seen some little waterfalls all along the way, but we have not made it to the whole reason that we're going on this hike. And here we are. Do we push through? Do we make him? We still have at least 45 minutes to hike back up.
Right, yeah.
So what do you do?
What do you do? Yeah, push on. Push on.
That sounds like a hike for you. I mean,
Yeah,
I'd end up carrying
Carry
the
the
kid,
kid, yeah, push on. It's your 10-year-old?
10.
Yeah,
He's
that's a lunker.
115
That's a lunker.
pounds.
Okay, or
I guess. I don't know. My kids aren't that big, so it's hard for me to make that call.
Yeah. How far is the main waterfall?
We've got 1,000 feet of straight down that we need to do.
Ooh, and then you have to go back up.
And then you got to go back up that, and then 45 minutes back.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's a bail.
That's a bail?
That's a bail for.
So
I would
what
say one person bails and takes the kid back, and everyone else goes on.
So what we did was my husband, my daughter, the 12-year-old went down and got to see. They took video and pictures, and I stayed there with him and my mom because she couldn't do the 1,000 feet, but I couldn't leave my son.
What the hell?
I couldn't leave him in the condition he was in.
Oh, okay.
So we waited, and then they came up, and then we made. And I was going to carry him if I needed to. I can do it on my back.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Okay, so I'm sorry.
It's hard.
Can I just address the elephant in the room?
What's
here?
the elephant?
Here's the elephant. This is the elephant in my room, and this is what Jackie would be saying. The same thing. I couldn't leave him in that condition.
I couldn't.
Okay, if you're, and so what life-saving measures did you take while you were waiting for them to see the waterfall?
I got in his face and I said, "Okay, we're gonna breathe slowly,
0
in and out." I don't know. I didn't know what was happening to him. Stop it!
Okay. But you're right. Like if something had gone wrong, then I'd be totally wrong. But in most cases, nothing would have gone wrong. And it's like if mom's gonna stay behind anyway because she can't make that drop, then stay with the baby. I'm gonna go experience this.
It was an option, but I just couldn't do it. I know. And now we'll never go on that hike ever again because I probably won't go back to Shenandoah because I've got 380 other national hikes to get to.
Yeah, that's one of those hard things is
you can always hold it against him.
Hold it for the rest of his life.
You know what I'm saying? Like anytime you want leverage. The Jewish guilt piece, from my side of the family, it's like really intense.
All right, so what else do our viewers need to know about getting out, getting moving, and experiencing all the nature that we have around here? Because we're headed into the best time of year, right?
It's the best time of year for like going to see views. The best time of year for waterfalls is usually the spring, just because right now it's dry. I mean,
I was thinking weather, wise, like
just like not burning. Nasty
we get that in spring.
There's 2 days in the fall, 2 days in the spring.
It's a tight window.
It's like the 1 week.
It's a tight window, but you got to do it.
But yeah, so right now it's a great time to go see a lot of views. If you're just starting, I mean, just pick something easy. Go do.
What is easy?
Usually, easy is something that doesn't have a ton of elevation change. It can even be a few miles. If it doesn't have elevation change, it's just not nearly as difficult. So especially if you have a well-known path. I usually point people to Alum Hollow is my first one up on Green Mountain. It's probably like 3.5 miles round trip, but it's flat. I mean, it's got very little elevation change. It's a pretty easy hike for a beginner. It's a great way to kind of get a little bit of distance in without a lot of that technical hiking in there.
Yeah.
So pick something.
So what's a moderate?
Yeah, I was gonna say
moderate.
Crank it up.
Moderates would have some elevation change, some rocky areas. Moderate around here. You could probably do mountain mist, and the Stonecut trails, like hiking out to the Stonecut trails and back.
I don't know those. That sounds good.
They sound good. Stonecut trails, mountain mist, like all of this is sounding very magical. And
it's up on Monte Sano. It's part of Monte Sano State Park.
Okay.
That's down the street.
Yeah, it's Stonecut trails is very cool. Kind of, you end up with in this one area where you have just walls on both sides of you. You kind of hiking through it, and then kind of coverings as well. It kind of feels like you're going in a cave. It's not really a cave because you go out the other side. It's more like going through a tunnel.
Yeah.
But a natural tunnel. So it's a pretty cool hike. But that would probably be a moderate hike around here.
And then
what's difficult?
Like beast mode, savage hike trail.
So
you might die.
So
no.
in Huntsville, Ranger Trail is probably pretty difficult. It's got a lot of elevation change, and it gets really rocky on the trail. And then the Talus and Talus the Talus Trail is pretty difficult up there too. And if you want to go to do something really long and difficult, Walls of Jericho is.
I've heard Walls of Jericho, and that's really difficult.
Yeah, Nick did Walls of Jericho, and it was like hardcore.
So it's not the trail's not super technical. It's just a lot of elevation change. Well, I say that actually when you go down the mountain and then you kind of go up and then down while you're following the river. That up and down while you're following the river, it does get kind of rocky and kind of technical footing.
And technical means that you just have to watch where you're what does that mean?
It's just uneven
like
grounds,
not smooth, like
uneven
yeah.
grounds.
So you just need to be careful.
Right.
Not that you need to know how to climb or anything like that.
Right. No.
But this is not something like if you're not paying attention,
If
you're
not
trip
fit,
and fall. And,
right.
You should probably
if
not
you're
try
not fit,
it.
yeah.
You
Well, just
probably,
like watch your stepping, like watch your footing, because you could probably fall easily. I mean,
and it's much more likely you need high top or boots, like actual boots, hiking boots, instead of just shoes.
Yeah.
I've seen people do that in flip flops though. So you know,
Right.
I mean, those
But
people,
why? But
but
why?
yeah.
But why don't?
You know, some people go barefoot in some places too. You know,
I mean,
everybody-
earthing is a thing.
Earthing is a thing. Yeah, that's right. So I see all sorts of things, but my suggestion is to wear boots if you're going to be doing something technical, moderate or technical. Usually, you should wear boots. I do have hiking shoes instead, which aren't they don't go.
Do you have hiking flip flops?
I have Chacos.
You have. Why do you have an answer for this? I was
have
going for
Chacos.
like an easy.
I have Chacos. Like
Are those hiking flip flops?
They're considered hiking sandals.
But they attach. Right?
I don't.
They're all...
I never
I have
suggest someone
Tevas.
go hiking in Chacos unless if it's like a nature like Green Mountain nature trail,
Right.
which is like super flat, super easy.
But still snakes.
But still snakes. Snakes still.
Turtles too, though. They have turtles.
But
You
the
can go
turtle's
look
not
at
going to attack you.
No, I'm
Okay,
saying,
all right.
like you can go and be afraid of the snakes, but then you have the delightful turtles to reward you.
Yes, it's a balancing
It's a
act.
balance.
It's all about balance. Nature is about balance. No, this has been amazing. Okay, any last thoughts that you have? Something that you think, like, if they were going to start their adventers and they want to start, like, what's
good
the
point.
best?
Okay, so what are 3 things you got to bring on every adventure?
Yeah.
Water, a small medical kit, and especially with kids, snacks.
Yeah. Don't get stuck.
Or Lucas.
Yeah,
If
I
kids
mean,
or Lucas bring snacks.
Kids
And
or
I mean,
Lucas.
Really, you need you need some kind of form of navigation, whether it's maybe it's signage, maybe it's a map. It just depends. You just need to know where you're going, right?
Yeah.
So some places you can go to, and it's really easy to find your way out. The Green Mountain Nature Trail, which I just mentioned, I don't need a map. I don't need to know everywhere I'm going. It's a loop. There's some things that go off to the side, but it's a loop. It's really easy to know where you are. You're just following around the lake, But generally speaking, you need to know where you are at all times. So some kind of navigational form, whether that's just, hey, I looked at this. I know that this is just a loop before you go out there, or hey, I need to bring an actual map. I'm going to Bankhead. I need a GPS. I need some way of navigating through the woods. Maybe a map and compass if you're comfortable with that. I just need some kind of form of navigation. That's pretty important for most places.
Yeah. I actually have a friend who, I don't know the full story, but this was like a couple weekends ago. They were hiking up on Monte Sano and her son got lost for like 6 hours.
6 hours? How old was the son?
10? I think if it was the
scary.
10-year-old.
That's
They got, What?
Yeah.
I would have been terrified.
There's something like 55 miles of trail up there, I think.
Oh my
Like
God.
and then it connects to it has trails that connects to land trusts too. So you could go on forever looking for.
So just be careful and maybe
Right.
make sure that they
so
they
it's-
have a plan for what to do
water,
if you get separated.
A first aid kit, snacks, a map, and a leash. For
And
your
a leash.
kids.
And a leash for Lucas
For
or the
Lucas
kids.
or the kid. Well, it has been awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
it has
you
been. Thank you so much for your
Yeah.
time and stopping by. Till next time. Bye, guys.
We're so thankful that David came to share his stories and inspiring all of us to explore Huntsville's great outdoors.
Speaking of adventures, next week we're taking a deeper look at South Huntsville.
Hey, did you know that they became a Main Street, Alabama designated community in 2018? I know you probably have no idea what that means, but they do. They give them money, they give them plans to help revitalize and thrive.
You knew it exactly. I was like, a Main Street, Alabama. What is this? Oh, so they got their first road. Okay, well, that's cool. I can't believe it took till 2018. But actually, South Huntsville has got a lot more than their first road. We're going to be talking with the executive director of South Huntsville, Maine Business Association, also known as SHMBA. Their mission is all about supporting, promoting, and advocating for South Huntsville businesses and creating a thriving and connected community.
And I can't believe it's here, but we're winding down on our first season of Rocket City Momentum. It has been an incredible journey, and next week's episode is one that you don't want to miss.
Until next time, stay adventurous, Huntsville.